For my film commentary, I wanted to take a look at the different ways that Christopher Nolan uses the soundtrack to influence scenes in Interstellar. More specifically, how he uses the soundtrack to signify the importance that some scenes have to the story. I want to start by discussing a few different scenes in which a recurring composition is heard throughout Interstellar. This composition is the most used song throughout Interstellar and is used to symbolize scenes of high significance to the story. In this first scene, Cooper is chasing an Air Force drone with his children through the family's cornfield. Notice that as the chase goes on, the score rises, getting more and more intense. Let's now jump to the end of that scene, where the score is at its loudest.
Good. I almost got it. Don't stop. Don't stop. Dad! No!
At the climax of this scene, right when Tom slams on the brakes, the score stops completely, adding to the drama of the near-death experience. This scene occurs only 6 minutes into Interstellar and sets the tone for the rest of the entire movie by introducing the audience to this score and the idea that it is associated with significant parts of the storyline, whether that is a rising action or some great emotions being felt by the characters. This next scene comes after Cooper's trip to a planet which was thought to be habitable, but in actuality was entirely covered in water. Due to the gravity on the planet, while Cooper was on it experiencing an hour, everyone on Earth, including his children, has experienced 23 years. Cooper is only on this mission so that his children may survive the harsh conditions on Earth, so coming back after an hour to find out that he's missed 23 years of his children's lives is devastating to him. Viewing the stream of video messages he has received over the course of decades set to this song in the background gives this scene a chilling message. The song in this scene is the same one from the previous scene I showed, however it is constant. It is not rising or falling, helping to convey that time has been constant even without Cooper around to experience it. This next scene is near the end of the film, so I will issue a spoiler alert. Cooper is inside a black hole right now and able to look into his past. He witnesses the last time he said goodbye to his daughter before he left for this mission. The song from the previous scenes is in the background, constant like the last time.
Make him stay, Murph. Don't let me leave, Murph. Don't let me leave, Murph. No!
This song comes back a few minutes later, only ramping up now instead of constant. The song is ramping up because Cooper is about to find the key to saving everyone on Earth, and the song works to build up the suspense immediately before that happens. This song has been playing during other very important scenes in the movie, so it has to be played here, scaling up to maximize the effectiveness of this scene.
Excuse me, sorry. What, Cooper? To save the world. All of this. One little girl's bedroom. Every moment. It's infinitely complex. They have access to to infinite time and space, but they're not bound by anything. They can find a specific place in time. They can communicate.
This is the climax of the movie, so it is fitting. This is the climax of the movie, so it is fitting for this song to be in the background, as well as for it to be scaling up. This song is woven throughout the entire movie during some of its most critical to the story scenes, setting it up so that it gives the audience a warning about what is going to happen soon, something important to the story. This song appears one last time in the very last scene of the movie. It is the song the credits begin rolling to. That further solidifies the song's place as something to signify importance.
In her new home.
Although this reoccurring song is a major part of the film's soundtrack, it is not the only significant part. Another method Nolan uses to emphasize scenes is lack of sounds or music. For example, this next scene in which Cooper's co-pilot is swallowed by the giant wave. There is very intense music until the exact moment the co-pilot is swept away.
Go, go, go! Into the overriding inside hatch!
After this, there's no background music for the remainder of the scene. The audio focuses solely on what the characters are doing and saying, and what noises the planet they're on is making. This lack of music helps to emphasize a focus on how absolutely massive the waves are, and how much power the planet holds over the characters. Another example of this is when Cooper is leaving for the mission in the first place, a little earlier in the movie. Very intense music is playing, and an announcer is counting down from 10. When he reaches 0, right when the rocket launches, the music stops completely to bring focus to what events are happening on screen.
Go for main engine start T-minus 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. Main engine start 4. 3. 2. 1. Booster ignition and... all engines look...
Removing music from a scene serves to emphasize the actions on screen. In this case, the action is Cooper leaving behind his children for an unknown number of years in an attempt to save them that he's not even sure will work. The lack of music in this scene after the rocket leaves indicates a new part of the story is occurring, in that Cooper cannot change his mind and go back to his kids. Interstellar is one of my favorite movies, and I believe the soundtrack is one of the major reasons why. The way Christopher Nolan... Interstellar is one of my favorite movies, and I believe the soundtrack is one of the major reasons why. The way Christopher Nolan is able to incorporate one song into different parts of the movie for different reasons and have it work out so well is incredible. He utilizes different speeds and tones of similar scores to symbolize a rising action or a great emotion felt by characters. In addition to that, he handpicks where to stop the music so that emphasis is placed on certain aspects of the physical world or actions of the characters. Watching a movie without a soundtrack is like watching a sitcom without a laugh track. Something just feels off. But it is not just important to have any old soundtrack. Christopher Nolan knows how to make his soundtrack work for him for the betterment of his scenes throughout the film Interstellar.